Good afternoon guys, it's me, Fedric Katigbak. For now, our topic is summary review of the chapter 1 to 11. For now, I create five five questions in each chapter. So let's go and have a review. Summary reviewer chapter 1 to 11. First, the chapter 1 questions. First, company is contemplating whether to use a client server or a peer-to-peer network. What are the three characteristics of a peer-to-peer network? So we will choose three. So it has a lot of choices. So my answer is it is easy to create. First, second is the lack centralized administration, and third, the less cost to implement. So number 2, which device performs the function of that determining the path that messages should take through internetwork? So the answer in this question is the router. So what are the two criteria are used to help select a network medium from various network media? So choose two. First, the choices, the types of data that needs to prioritize. Second is the cost of the end devices utilized in the network. Third is the distance that selected medium can successfully carry a signal. Fourth is the number of intermediary devices installed in the network. Last is the environment whether the selected medium is to be installed. So my answer is the distance that selected medium can successfully carry a signal, and the environment where the selected medium is to be installed. Which two statement describe intermediary devices? So choose two. So my answer is intermediary. Sorry for that. Intermediary devices direct the path of data. Second is the intermediary devices connect individual hosts to the network. So question number 5. What are the two functions of end devices on a network? So choose two. So the answer is they originate the data that flows through the network. Second is they are interface between humans and the communication network. So let's go to the summary reviewer for the chapter 2. So the first question, what is the function of the kernel of an operating software? So my answer is the kernel provisions hardware resources to meet software requirements. So for the number 2, a network administrator needs to keep the user ID, password, sessions, contents private when establishing remote CLI connectivity with a switch to manage it. Which access method should be chosen? So there's the Telnet, Console, and AUX and SSH. So my answer in this question is the SSH. Which procedure is used to access a Cisco 2960 switch when performing an initial configuration in a secure environment? So my answer is use the console port to the locally accessed switch from a serial or USB interface of the PC. Which command key or combination allows a user to return to the previous level in the command hierarchy? So there's the end, exit, control Z, and control C. So my answer is exit. A router has a valid operating system and configuration file stored in the NVRAM. So So the configuration file contains the enable password but no console password. When the router boots up, which mode will display? So there's the global configuration mode, setup mode, privilege exec mode, user exec mode. So my answer in this question is the user exec mode. So let's go to the chapter 3 summary review. So for the first question, what can be used by two computers to ensure that packets are not dropped because too much data is being sent too quickly? First is the encapsulation, flow control, access method, and response time mode. So my answer is the flow control. Number 2, what type of the communication will send a message to all devices on a local area network? Broadcast, multicast, unicast, allcast. These are the choices. So my answer is, what process is used to place one message inside another message for the transfer from the source to the destination? There's the access control, decoding, encapsulation, and flow control. So my answer in this question is encapsulation. A web client is sending a request for a web page to server. From the perspective of the client, what is the correct order of the protocol stack used to prepare the request for transmission? So my answer in this question is the HTTP, TCP, IP, and the Ethernet. For 5, which statement is correct about network protocol? So guys, read it and I will say the answer. So my answer in this question is to define how messages are exchanged between the source and the destination. So we will go to the chapter 4. Sorry for that. Hello again, we will go to the chapter 4. So what are the two reasons for physical layer protocols to use frame encoding techniques? So choose 2. So my answer for this question is to distinguish data bits from control bits, to identify where the frame starts and ends. What is indicated by the term throughput? So my answer is the measure of the bits transferred across the media over a given period of time. So a network administrator noticed that some newly installed Ethernet cabling is carrying corrupt and distorted data signals. The new cabling was installed in the ceiling, close to fluorescent lights and electrical equipment. Which two factors may interfere with the copper cabling and result in the signal distortion and the data corruption? So choose 2. So there's the AMI crosstalk RFI signal attenuation extended length of cabling. So my answer is AMI and RFI. Which characteristic describe crosstalk? The distortion. So my answer in this question is the distortion of the transmitted messages from signals carried in an adjacent wire. So what technique is used with the UTP cable to help protect against signal interference from crosstalk? So my answer is the twisting the wires together with interference. So we'll go to chapter 5. So first question, what happens to run frames received by Cisco Ethernet switch? So my answer is the frame is dropped. So what are the two size minimum and maximum of Ethernet frame? So choose 2. So there's the 64 bytes and the 1580 bytes. What statement describes Ethernet? So Ethernet, it defines the most common LAN time interval. Which of the two statements describes feature or function of the logical link control sublayer in Ethernet standard? So choose 2. So first, my answer is the logical link control is implemented in software. Second is the data link layer uses LLC to communicate with the upper layers of the protocol suite. What statement describes a characteristic of MAC addresses? So they must be globally and unique. So chapter 6. Sorry. Which characteristic of the network layer in the OSI model allows carrying packets for multiple types of communication among many hosts? So my answer in this question is to the ability to operate without regard to data packet. Data is carried in each packet. What are the two characteristics of IP? So choose two. So my first answer is the does not require a dedicated end-to-end and connection. Then the second answer is to operate independently for the network media. When a connectionless protocol is in use at a lower layer of the OSI model, how is spacing data detected and retransmitted if the necessary? So my answer is the upper layer connection oriented protocols keep the track of the data received and can request retransmission from the upper level protocols on the sending host. So for the fourth question, so which field in the IPv4 header is used to prevent a packet from traversing a network endlessly? So my answer is time to leave. What IPv4 header fields identify the upper layer protocols carried in the packet? So my answer is protocol. So here we go to chapter 7, summary viewer. So how many bits are in the IPv4? So the answer in this question is it's only 32. Which two parts are components of IPv4 address? So choose two. So the first answer is the network portion and the second answer is the host portion. What does the IP address 172.17.4.250.24 represent? So it is the host address. What is the purpose of the subnet mask in conjunction with an IP address? So it is to determine the subnet to which the host belongs. What subnet mask is represented by the slash notation by 20? So the answer is the 255.255.240.0. So let's go to the chapter 8 summary review. So what is the result of the connecting two or more switches together? So my answer in this question is the size of the broadcast domain is increased. What are the two reasons of network administrator might want to create subnet? So choose two. So my first answer is to improve network performance, and second is the easier to implement security policies. So question number 3. If a network device has a mask of 28, how many IP addresses are available for hosts in this network? So it will be a 14 only. Which subnet mask would be used if 5 hosts or bits are available? So my answer in this question is the 255.255.255.224. How many host addresses are available on network in 172.16.128.0 with a subnet mask of 255.255.252.0? So my answer in this question is the 1022. So let's go to the chapter 9. Which two characteristics are associated with the UDP session? So choose two. So my first answer in this question is to destination on devices to receive traffic with a minimal delay. Second is the received data is acknowledged. What happens is part of the FTP message is not delivered to the destination. The part of the FTP message that was lost is present. So that's my answer. A host device needs to send a large video file across the network while providing data communication to other users. Which feature will allow different communication streams to occur the same time without having a single data stream using all available bandwidth? So My answer in this question is the multiplexing. What kind of port must requested from IANA in order to be used with a specific application? So my answer is the registered port. What type of the information is included in the transport data and transport header? So my answer in this question is the destination and source port numbers. So chapter 10, which two definition accurately describe associated application layer protocol? So choose two. So my answer is first is the Telnet provides remote access to server and networking devices. Second is the DNS that resolves the Ethernet names to IP addresses. The application of the TCP and IP model performs the function of what three layers of the OSI model? So choose three. So first is the session, second is the presentation, and third is the application. Which layer in the TCP IP model is used for formatting, compressing, and encrypting data? So my answer in this question is the application. A manufacturing company that subscribe to certain host services from its ISP. The services that are required include hosted, World Wide Web, file transfer, and email. Which protocol represent these three key applications? So choose three. So my answer 3 is the FTP, HTTP, and the SMTP. Which application layer protocol uses message types such as GET, PUT, and POST? So my answer is the HTTP. So here we go to the last summary reviewer of the chapter. It is the chapter 11. So let's go for it. So, which network design consideration would be more important to a large corporation than to a small business? So, my answer in this question is the redundancy. Which two traffic types require delay sensitive delivery? So, choose two. So, my answer is the double means voice and video. Some routers and switches in wiring closes malfunction after an air conditioning unit failed. What type of threat does this situation describe? So my answer is environmental. What type of network threat is intended to prevent authorized user from accessing resources? So this is the DOS attack. For the last question, what is the purpose of a network security authentication function? So my answer is to requires user to prove who they are. So that's all for now. So this is my summary review that I create for the chapter 1 to 11. So please don't forget to subscribe, and thank you.